Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction for Steins Gate. It is episode 17, and you know what to do. As always, if you want to see the reaction itself, please go down into my descriptions. You will find a link. Remove the circumflex dot parts and replace them with real dots. And then you can watch the reaction. Once you've done, please come back here, hear out my thoughts about this episode, and well, I will see you soon. For those of you that came back, welcome back. Now, that was a tough episode in many ways. I had once or twice a little bit of tears coming up, but I was able to suppress them. But still, it brings in questions we already had in past episodes, discussions about time travel and about who gets to choose things, who gets to decide things. I think I had it especially in the last episode when I stated, well, one could say it is Ocarina because he is kind of chosen by destiny, so we have to trust that he's making the right decisions. Right now, I'm a little bit in doubt about that. So, we had kind of a small hope that the killing of Mayushi is over after the last episode, because the time passed when it normally happened, and the question was if the change about Suzuha, the fact that she did not send this D-mail into the past, that this change may have made a difference. So in the end, that once again Ocarina did send an email, so he undid a D-mail. But as we learned this time, it helped only for a day. So the killers are back just one day later. I think it was about 17 o'clock. So it's like 22, 23 hours later they appeared. Although I'm not sure about this, because the discussion with Christina, with Marquise Kurizu, was at 17 o'clock, so it might be it is more neither exactly 24 hours later and he just D-mailed again, or jumped back with the machine again. So he's still not able to stop that. Well, he didn't try. I mean, he would have one more day now, because the machine, he had 5 days before, now he would have 6 days, but still, it seems to be like a stamp in time. It has to happen somehow. So Christina brought the idea that if undoing one D-mail made this possible, maybe undoing all D-mails will solve the problem completely, because in this case it is very likely that, or it might be that CERN is not realizing what's happening. I am not sure about this in so many ways, because you already did play with time, and by doing more of it, I'm not sure if... The question is, what does CERN track? Does CERN track when you behave differently, or does CERN somehow realize those D-mails being sent? That's the question. However, it is a thing where they are about chances, so they are like, let's just try it, because we do not have anything to lose. So it is a risk game they are doing right now, in my opinion. And it would work, but then we reach the point when there is something we have to lose. And this is why I'm not so happy with this episode. By the way, I'm happy with the episode. I'm not happy with Ocarina's decisions. Yes? Okay, just making it sure. I like the episode. Because Virus has to lose so much here. It's more than everything, you know? There is this one big thing in her life she wanted to change, and that is the death of her father. So I can completely see that, and even getting the information, what she said to him at last. Wow. I mean, and that was one of the moments, by the way. I mentioned them. So I am not sure if this is the right choice. if it turns out good in the end and Mayushi is saved, one might say it was the right decision, but even then, the dad is dead again. So what now? But before even that happened, we had something I already discussed in the past. We had a very nice moment between Makis and between Ocarine. Once again, a warm moment between the two, a moment where she opened up to him, where there was a connection. And this time, I like it that they did it, but this time they put a finger on it, on the thing that I already mentioned in the past. These moments will be lost in time. Because she herself said, I will not remember this, right? And it was not about that it was her idea. It was not about that he is going back in time. It was not about Mayushi and her being in trouble. It was about the fact that he told her in a very warm and friendly, maybe even more way, that they had an emotional moment with each other. And it was clear that she meant this moment, that it will be lost to her. And that is the thing where I see it's building more and more towards. But well, I discussed it in the past, so I will let it slip. We had Faris. Well, it's a typical thing. If you want to find out where Faris is, just call Deku. So, Deku, sorry, man, you know what I mean. I'm beginning to throw different series together. However, they found Faris, and I'm not sure what kind of a game it was, because I'm not really aware what kind of game that was. I guess it was some kind of a computer game or something alike, and she won it. Congratulations. But there seem to be some evil dudes who are not so happy about it, and they go in with real world violence, and well, now that's a problem, definitely is. Something that I can only hope is not happening too often. So they were running away. In the beginning, I was like, not really taking this serious, because I was like, come on, those are gamers. Is this more like a joke? Is it more like, yeah, let's play catch, you know? But we did see clearly that they are way more dangerous. So that was even going to the point where one of them drew a knife out, and I have to ask myself, about how much money was this? This is really, really big. We had someone on the phone talking all the time. I wrote him down, the great 4C. 4C like 4C, no idea. I will watch out. Maybe we will hear about him in one of the future episodes, but I guess it will be only like a side note. And then to the rescue came the father of Faris. And this is the moment where it becomes, personal and a little bit touchy, a little bit playing with my heart, because you can clearly see how much her dad means to Faris. And you already know why Ocarina is there, why he has met up with Faris, and you know what he's about to ask her. And I had the moment when I thought he will not go for Faris, he will go instead for the dad and ask him, maybe. Because I think that would be something that would have worked, maybe, if the dad himself did send a D-mail, as example, to himself or to Faris, to ignore the other D-mail. Although one might question how he did it possible. It would be about the greater good, it would be about good for Faris, no idea. So we had multiple things here. So the IBN, we learned now, was given to Faris' dad by Suzuha. So she really finished her job. She know if I give it to him, it will reach the laboratory. So she did her part of the job, which is good, because it shows us that her mission was not in vain. She finished her mission. She did what she traveled through time for, and one can hope that she was in the end happy, He screwed it up a little bit then, because there was someone requesting money for his daughter and he had to sell it. We had the short glimpse of the D-mail that Ferris sent into the past. And I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read ransom, I think 100 million, something like that. So if I'm right, then this ransom, this we catched your daughter and everything stuff, is something that Ferris herself set up so that her dad stays in town, which accidentally would have caused her dad to sell the IBM, and thus they stumbled more neither on their own legs in this case. So that's I am not sure anymore when the IBM went missing, but it might be fitting that when Ferris did send the D-mail, afterwards the IBM was gone. I think it was like this, so it would be fitting. I'm just not sure if she sent this D-mail to her father or to herself to act as though. So like, message from your future, your dad is leaving town, but you can trick him back in by just go missing and pretend there's a ransom money requested. Just an idea. I'm not sure how exactly she did it, but it seems to have been her somehow. So this is one thing, and the other is, and that is a major one in my opinion. She remembered the fact that there was another timeline where her father wasn't there, or more, she remembered the good times in the Queen the May Queen. This way. So how did this happen? How could she remember through timelines? Because as far as we know, it is only Ocarina who was able to. So is it because he told her about it and he has somehow a little bit of influence by his powers to bring others at least a bit of memories back? As far as we know, it should work. So that's interesting that she could remember something, not all, just, like vague images, distant voices. That is what it was like. So it's a little bit like déjà vu, as example. So that was surprising. And the question is if he could do it now again, because it would be really necessary, in my opinion, in the end. Ferris did decide in the end. She did decide herself. He did not really pressure her in. You have to admit that. Although putting the pistol on your head and saying it's Mayushi's life that's in vain here, that's in danger here, is a lot. How should she decide? She's friends with her, and Mayushi. You know how good she is as a person. How could you deny that? But in the end, it was a decision. Either there's danger for Mayushi of dying, or you let your dad go, which you remember now that he's only there because you kind of cheated time. How does anyone make this decision? I mean, seriously, how can anyone make that decision? It's nearly impossible. Because if she would have despised her dad or anything, that might have worked. But she really seriously and clearly loves her dad. So there are two moments when I was like really down. The one was when she asked him, I will remember this, right? I will remember, like I do remember the time in the other timeline now. I will remember my time with my dad, those 10 years where he proved to me that he loved me. And he says, sure you will. I'm sure you will remember. That's what he said. Sorry, that's a lie. I mean, how can he be sure? If he would have said possibly, or I hope so, okay. But he said, I'm sure. And I'm a little bit pissed on him for that. Because in this moment, I was like, no, you are not. No, you don't. You cannot know that. You are lying to her now. You're lying straight to her face now. Okay, he had his back to her, but you know what I mean. And I know why he did it. If he's about who's more important to him, as mean as it is, it will always be Mayushi first. Always. She is on the top. So I see his reasons, but that was cruel. That was a mean one. Yes, there was hope that she might remember because we have just seen it happening. But it was mean. And as we have seen in the end, she does not remember right now. So that's one thing, and I hope that he can somehow bring her memories back. Because that is something, in my opinion, he owes her that. He owes her that. Question is, if she, whysoever, doesn't remember her dad and those 10 years now at all, why ever it worked the other way around, and he talks to her about this good 10 years, it will possibly hurt her even more. But if she can get her to remember, there might be something good. But as I said, I'm a little bit pissed at him for saying that. And then the other thing, and that was a dagger to the heart, was the bye-bye dad from her. You know, when she pressed the send button and said bye-bye dad, that was, wow, not necessary. That was just cruel. So, farewell, my little broken heart. This episode was mean to you. We are finally back in another timeline again. Interesting, because I'm aware that he very often had his hand on this, I would call it chronometer, the time chronometer, and I wasn't able to see the numbers. It would be interesting if those numbers changed, and if so, how. Because I guess the numbers would go down now, meaning they would more and more have to go towards 03 again, where it was 04 before already. Because right now he's undoing changes, so he's going more and more back to the original timeline in theory. And the only way to see that would be on this chronometer, which I wasn't able to catch a glimpse at. However, when he's back now, the IBN is still vanished. But, so it wasn't sold then for ransom money, which is still not a proof that it was Farah's idea, but possibly it is. So the IBN was given to the shrine, as we had in one of the first episodes. But a year ago now, it vanished from the shrine. So there is still a difference, and right now the question is, where did this difference come from now? Because if you would really completely undo perfectly the D-mails, then it should be there, and it isn't. So he didn't do it perfectly. Question is, what now? Who took it a year ago? So possibly, maybe we can find that out a normal way. As I said in the beginning, I think it is nearly impossible to perfectly undo the changes he already inspired in time. Because there are too many variables, too many stuff happening, and in the end, he's not making the girls, not sending the mails. So what he would have to do is to send a D-mail to the persons who sent the first D-mail exactly in the moment before she sent the first D-mail, saying, don't send this D-mail. So then you would make sure she doesn't send and doesn't change the time in the past. But then, in the moment before she sent the D-mail, you already changed time again, because she's aware someone from the future told me not to do it. So that's not working. What I've seen is they're sending D-mails exactly before or shortly after the arrival time of the first D-mail. So Faris in the past, when she was 8 years, received 2 D-mails now. One saying, yeah, play this trick with your dad, being about ransom money. And the next one saying, it was just a joke, please ignore me. Even if you ignore the first D-mail, you now have received in the past D-mails which are strange, which talk to you from the future, you know? And So you behave differently. You have changed time. It happens. And especially in case of Ferris, just think about that. You receive an email from the future saying, hey, play this trick with your dad about ransom money and so on. I'm not sure to when she exactly timed it, but let's say it is somewhere shortly before he died. Then you receive another, just a joke, ignore the email, and the next day your father dies. Even as an 8-year-old, you might be suspicious. You might be like, something is wrong here. And what if I had done it? So, that's my theory. That's why I say you cannot undo the D-mails perfectly. It's simply not possible. Okay. Next, I will guess they will ignore in this time travel theory chaos we are watching here, called Steins Gate. They will ignore this, what I tried to explain in the last sentences, because otherwise Faris right now might have acted differently already. So they are more like, you can undo stuff more neither perfectly. So, guessing it's that way, next episode possibly will be about who the heck took the IBN now. Because it has to be someone else now. How did it happen and where is it now? I'm still waiting for Moika, Shining Fingers, to come out of the closet, to reveal to us who she is, what all of this is really about. Because we still don't know nothing about it. We have no clue. And if I say we, I mean those watching this exact episode. I know you are way more informed, and it's good that way. But please don't spoil me. But I really have no clue yet. I'm still not sure about those BF letters she mentioned. What those stands for. I'm very aware that she's not happy with what she's doing, and that there has to be reasons why she does it. I just remembered something. I wrote something down from the intro, because as we have seen so often in the past, when you watch the intro and the things written down on different episodes, they always seem to mean something different, and I like that. So I had, what did I write down? Where is it? There it is. In the lines of the intro, there are two things I wrote down this time. Cruel contract and a choice to make. The choice to make is very fitting for this episode. In this case, it was Faris who had a choice to make. Who do you value more, if even, or at least, do you act or do you not act? In this case, not acting, your dad survives. Possibly Mayushi's dying. Do you act? Mayushi might survive. And your dad is gone. But this, a choice to make is about Ocarina as well. The choice, do I try this with a D-mail? Do I accept what Faris is doing? Because he has a choice always. He could always say, no, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't allow that your dad is taken from you, And the cool contract, I thought about two persons in this time. We have Moeka, as I just discussed, that's why I remembered, who seems to be not very happy with what she's doing in the past episodes, but still does it. So question, cruel contract. So that's one thing. And the other one is Marquise Kurisu, Christina. Because we have heard from Suzuha that she is someone mean in the future. Someone who is responsible for the whole CERN project. Someone who's on the opposite side. CERN being an organization and you work as a scientist for them, you possibly have a contract. So question is there a cruel contract? And as I discussed in the past already, I somehow fear that the fact that all those emotional and good moments between her and Ocarine are lost in time, and in the end, when we will travel more and more back into the past again, into the beginning of this, Ocarine will remember good times, and she will not at all, because she never had them, because he deleted them. And that might happen to be a reason why she is going for the other side, because the good person that we know her to be is someone that developed out of the time together with the Future Gadget Laboratory, and developed out of the time with Mayushi and with Ocarine as well, realizing that he's a good person in heart. But if you remember the first time they met each other, that was, she was very cold to him. Not because she is, but because she learned to act that way. So if there was never this good time with all of them, like Suzu had as example, who knows who she will become? So, a lot of interesting things and theories. I hope you liked it. I did for sure, as always. And, we will see each other next week. As always, Wednesday, it's time for Steins Gate. Until then, please feel free to comment, to like, and to subscribe. And, my name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye, and out.